Keith Rucker at VintageMachinery.org. So I thought I'd put together another odds and ends video for you guys this week. Got some viewer mail and some new tools and stuff that have come in. I want to go through those. Also been working on the shop quite a bit. Got some more stuff moved in here, and want to fill you in on some of that as well. So let's get going. We'll start off with here just a little bit on the shop update. So you probably noticed behind me I've got some things kind of set up, and this is not finished yet, but this will kind of be my work area back here, and I want to have tools and what have you. Still got some more stuff to do with my benches and so forth, but we are making progress. Got a couple of shelves put up in here. Got my stereo hooked up where I've got some nice sound in here when I'm not on camera. I can play some tunes or what have you. Anyway, got some toolboxes back here. I haven't even started filling these up yet, and I've got another toolbox I think that's going to go up here. Down under the benches, I'll have some rolling cabinets, and just haven't had the money to buy those yet, but I got them built for those. They're the right size, so going to have lots of storage right over here, and that's going to be really handy, as well as some workspace. And then I got the bench out here, more of an island bench. I can move this around as needed, but this gives me just a place to work on different projects, and we got it all cleaned up right now. The problem with these horizontal surfaces is that stuff gets piled up on them. In fact, I came out in the shop this morning and probably spent the first hour just cleaning up, putting stuff up. You get stuff out, it needs to go back up where it belongs. And that's also been one of my challenges, is getting a place for everything. You know, everything has a place and everything in its place. Well, right now I got a lot of stuff that doesn't have a place. And that's one of the things that we're working on back here. So with that, let's get over and start talking about some of the viewer mail. Well, first item here is actually a purchase that I made, and I actually got this from Jack Hoying, and Jack has been someone I've been corresponding with. Actually, I have done some horse trading with, purchased some tools with in the past, and so forth. But he contacted me a while back and had this grinding wheel dresser, radius dresser for surface grinder, and knew that I was getting ready to get my surface grinder going and thought I could use it. And absolutely, this is something that was actually on my list of things that I need for the shop, and I was tickled to get it. So it's been a while since this transaction took place, and I quite honestly don't remember exactly what I paid for it. But he gave me a good deal on it. I remember that. At least I thought it was a good deal. So I'm going to have to do some homework to learn how to use this. I know there's some videos out there, some people showing. I think Stan Zinkowski's done some Shade and HKW on his website, shown some videos on using this tool or one very similar to it. And I think Chuck Bomarito over Outside Screwball, he's also done a few things with the radius grinder here. But anyway, you can basically put a grinding wheel or grinding diamond grinding tip in there, and you can set this thing up to, grind into a grinding wheel on your surface grinder a radius. It could either be a concave or convex radius, depending on how you set this thing up. It's a pretty neat little gadget. It's got all kinds of settings and so forth in it to be able to do various different kinds of operations on it, and it's a very handy tool to have. Additionally, you got this little piece here. Quite honestly, I'm not even sure what that is. I think Jack just threw it in there. I don't think it goes with the radius grinder. But it's a little angle plate with some type of little fixture on it. Again, I don't recognize what that's for. Some of you guys may know. And he also threw in a big, long 12 millimeter drill bit here. So it's like a brand spanking new 12 millimeter drill bit. And I don't do a lot of metric stuff, but occasionally you just have the need to do metric, particularly with holes and taps and so forth. So who knows, that right there very well may come in handy at some point in the future. So anyway, Jack, thank you for offering this up to me. I really do appreciate it, and I'm very anxious to get the surface grinder going. Now that we got the LeBlond lathe running, that's pretty high on the priority list, is to get that surface grinder going. And I've got a couple little projects that we could definitely use it on, and this right here will definitely be something that gets used in conjunction with that. So thanks a lot, Jack. We'll go to the next item here. So next item here is actually another purchase, and after we did the scraping class a couple of weeks ago, or a month or two ago now, one of my viewers reached out to me and said he actually had one of these Biax scrapers and really just didn't need it or whatever, and was willing to part with it. So it wasn't a gift. I purchased it from him. And I think he sold it to me at a fair price. I'm not going to disclose that, but it was a fair price based on what these things sell on. I think I did just fine. But this right here, of course, is what we use in scraping, for power scraping. You come in here and do this. If you watch my scraping videos, or the ones that were put up by some of the other YouTube creators that attended that, I think you'll know how we use this. But this right here will be a very, very nice tool in the arsenal. I've got some scraping projects that I really need to get back onto that were kind of left over from the scraping class, some things that we started and didn't finish, and I got some other things that's going to be coming along, particularly when we start working on restoring some of these other machines. There's definitely going to be some opportunities to do some scraping. And speaking of scraping, I'll just go ahead and throw this out too. The first scraping class was such a success, and I had so many people contact me saying they wanted to take a class. We were planning on doing a class in the fall, and I think we still are going to be planning on doing another Richard King class where he'll come down and teach the class just like he did before, a 5-day class. But because of the number of people that were interested in, we've actually decided we're going to have another class this spring, and the dates on that is going to be May 11 through 15. It's a 5-day class. It kind of goes over a long weekend, basically. But if you're interested in coming, I still, as of shooting this video right now, I've got, I think, 2 open slots in that class that we could put some more people in there. And I've contacted a lot of people that had already said they were interested. Several of them, for various reasons, want to come to the fall class, which we haven't really gotten completely fleshed out yet, but we are planning on doing another one in the fall. But if you're interested, want to take Richard King's hand scraping class and machinery building class, May 11th through 15th here in Tifton, Georgia, we will be offering a course here. And again, I do have room for just a couple more people. It is a rather expensive course. It's about $1,650, or it is $1,650 for the class. And that's basically Richard's fee and everything for coming down. But I can tell you, after taking the class, it's worth every penny. And I'm really looking forward to having another class here in the shop. It will be hosted here in my home shop. And we'll have several good people coming in as well and taking the class again, similar to last time. So if you're interested, shoot me an email, please. Don't send me a comment, because comments, it's just hard to do this kind of stuff over the comments. So my email address is right down here, krucker@friendlycity.net. You can send that to me, and we'll get you the information. And it's first come, first serve, guys. When it fills up, it's full. And we're real close to filling up right now. So anyway, this right here is going to get used in my next scraping class, and I hope to have some projects in between now and then to use it on as well. And speaking of the scraping class, here's a project that I'll be doing. I may actually do it during the scraping class, or at least the scraping part. I may get it done ahead of time. It just depends on how things go between now and May. But this is a rough casting for an 18-inch camelback straight edge. Now, I've got a 36-inch camelback that we actually scraped in the last class. And of course, I got my big 6-footer back here that hasn't been checked yet. I don't have a surface plate big enough to check it on right now. But that'll be another project I'll probably do it sometime, is check that. And we actually got a project we're going to probably need that on coming up soon, so that'll be something we work on. But this one here is kind of interesting. This is just a rough casting. It has not been machined, it has not been scraped, it hasn't done anything. It's literally it's been cast and it's been heat treated, and it's basically just been sitting out acclimating for a while. And this is actually one of the products that Richard King sells. He sells the castings for these straight edges. And again, it's a project. You have to go home and you have to machine it, and then you have to scrape it in. But I picked up an 18-inch one. I just wanted a small one. So like if I'm working on milling machine or something like that, where you don't want to have to get a great big one in there. This will give me a nice range of camelbacks to use. And so if you're not familiar with these, basically what you'll do is you'll mill the bottom and scrape the bottom perfectly flat. It also has a little dovetail on the side here, so if you got like a dovetail in a milling machine, you can actually come in here and bend this thing up and rub off of that. But this is basically, on a machine, in scraping, you have to have a reference, something that's perfectly flat to reference it against. We use a surface plate for that. But in some cases, you really can't take the surface plate to the machine. So what you do is you check your straight edge on the surface plate, make sure everything's good, and you may have to fine tune it because these things will move around a little bit. I'm talking about, within a 10,000th of an inch flat. But then you can blue this up and then take it to the machine and then use this as your reference, your straight edge, as the reference to blue off of on your machine. So anyway, this one right here will be smaller and lighter, and for those smaller ways and dovetails, this will be perfect. And then we got the 36-incher for bigger stuff, and then of course this big 6-footer back here for the really big stuff. So this will give me a nice selection. So Richard sells these again. I think he actually has them on eBay, or you can contact him directly and through at handscraping.com is his website, and you can get these from him directly, or like I said, you can purchase them through eBay from him as well. So we're going to be machining this out. That'll probably be a series of videos. Actually, one of the guys that's taking the scraping class has got one too, and I think he's going to come up one weekend, and we're going to do all the machine work, and that'll probably be a video or series of videos depending on how long it takes. And then during the class, he'll scrape his in, and I don't know if I'll have mine done before the class or during the class or after the class, but I'm going to go ahead and get it machined in. So something to look forward to. So next couple items here, some viewer mail, viewer gift that came in, and these are pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about these. And these come from Kevin Stollard, who is with Don's Auto Parts up in, Pound, Virginia? But anyway, he emailed me and asked me, he said, hey, can you send me your logo? He wanted the digital file of my Vintage Machinery logo. And I said, sure. He said, I'm going to send you a couple things. He didn't tell me what. Well, the last week or so, got a nice big box in the mail and was very pleased with what I got. So first off, had a couple of these cups. Everybody, these are kind of the rage right now. I'm not sure which brand these are, but these are these cups you can put stuff in and the ice doesn't melt for days or what have you. So two different sizes, and he put the Vintage Machinery logo on them. Looks like they're, well, I don't know. I was going to say it looks like they're vinyl, but they're not. I'm not sure how those are on there. Those may actually be laser engraved. I'm not sure. He didn't tell me. I just assumed they were vinyl cutouts, but they're not. They actually look like they're into the cup, which is pretty cool. But then also, and quite honestly, what I'm more excited about is he made up some of these decimal equivalent charts. And he sent me 4 of them. He sent me 2 big ones and 2 smaller ones here. And these are actually on a piece of metal. It's not plastic, but these are metal. And looks like I'm not sure. I think, this is a pretty standard format, I think, you see on charts. But behind it, he put my Vintage Machinery logo, and again down here, and has the Don's Auto Parts logo on it as well. So these have decimal equivalents, fractional equivalent, or decimal equivalents in inches, and it has your standard millimeter sizes in here converted to decimal equivalents. It also has, of course, your fractions, and then your numbers and letters for number and letter size drill bits. So it's got a lot of different information on here, and of course it has your tap and drill recommendations on here for all your different size threads, both English and metric, and also has pipe thread information down here at the bottom. So this is handy. In fact, I've already got one hanging up back here behind me, and these other ones will get put up in various places around the shop, so you can always go find that information when you need it. And You know, this is stuff that I'm always looking up, always looking at these references. So this is really cool, and I greatly appreciate it. In fact, I've been looking for some good decimal equivalent charts to put up in the shop, and lo and behold, he sent me some unexpected, so pretty cool stuff. So Kevin, thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for putting these together for me. I really do appreciate it. Like the cups too. My wife's already tried to steal these. I said, no, you can't have them yet. I got to take them down to the shop and put them in the video. So I'll get to use them, but I think my wife has got her eye on at least one of these. She's a big coffee drinker and likes to take her coffee to work in the morning, so I'm going to have to keep tabs on these. Thanks a lot, Kevin. I greatly appreciate it. So here's another really cool viewer gift item that I got, and this one actually came from Paul Hamler. And you guys remember we went up and did a couple of videos up at Paul's shop, and I didn't get this on camera while I was up there. In fact, I was up there, he gave this to me one day, and I really wanted to show this off because it's really pretty cool. This is a handmade tool that Paul made. And what it is, it's a chair scraper. You basically use this similar to a spoke shave. And he made this completely by hand. It's curly maple is the wood here. We got brass. It's got a scraper blade in here. And what's really cool is that he hand engraved the Vintage Machinery logo on here. That's not computerized. That's completely done by hand. On his engraving stand, and this is just really, really cool. I actually use it some in his shop. We were playing around with it, doing some scraping. So scraping is kind of a finishing operation. When you scrape a piece of wood, it actually gets it smoother than you can get sanding it using a special setup here. And he made these. In fact, if you haven't been keeping an eye, Paul has actually put his first video up on his YouTube channel, and it's on making a hand scraper. I don't think it's exactly the same as this particular model, but anyway, it's a video, and he's going to start doing some videos over on his channel. So you may want to go check out Paul's channel and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure there's going to be some really good stuff. He's learning the skill of shooting videos, and you know, he's got some learning the tricks of the trade to do, but he's a wealth of knowledge and got some really cool content that he can be sharing. So go check him out if you haven't already. Thanks. So up next here, got a pretty cool little tool holder. This comes from Ryan Wasila. I'm probably saying his name wrong, and I apologize. And it's kind of embarrassing because I actually had supper with him the other night. But Ryan actually goes by the handle Illinois Gopher or IL Gopher on YouTube, and that's kind of how I know him more as the IL Gopher than anything else. But this past week, I was actually traveling on business. I was up in Bloomington, Illinois, and Ryan saw it on my Facebook that I was in town, and he was only about 10 minutes away, so he came in one evening and actually met me for dinner, and we walked down the road from the hotel there and had a nice dinner there in Bloomington, Illinois. Pretty cool little restaurant. Anyway, while I was there, he gave me this nice little tool holder. So this holds an SN style, which is basically a square 90-degree insert, like an SNMG or something like that. This particular one is actually holds a metric size, so it's an SN, like an SNMG 1204, and then the last numbers depend on the radius of the tip or whatever. So I don't have any inserts for this. I'm going to actually have to get out and try to find some on eBay or on the internet or what have you. But this is actually a pretty cool little insert because it's great for going in and just like chamfering a corner on the lathe. I've actually been looking for and getting a size or getting something with this type of 90-degree geometry on it, doing for exactly this. So anyway, Ryan, I appreciate it. He said he picked these up somewhere and he didn't have a need for this one. And I'm tickled because it's, again, something I've been looking for. And like I said, we just got to find some inserts for it. But that should not be too difficult. So Ryan, thank you so much. I really enjoyed getting to visit with you while we're up there. I've actually met Ryan several times. He's been out at the Summer Bash out in California. Also, he came up to the Arnfest event this last year, and I got to hang out with him up there, and then I got to visit him, of course, this time up there in his hometown, or right close to his hometown. So enjoyed getting to do that while I was on the road. It was a nice distraction, being with everybody at work all day long for several days in meetings. It's kind of nice to be able to get out and see somebody else, I guess, while you're up there. So thank you for the pleasant distraction that evening, and good conversation. And hey, got some cool tools to take home as well. Thanks. So another viewer gift here, I guess. This one wasn't mail. Got this one delivered in person. So it comes from Douglas Lodge. Doug was, if you remember a couple of episodes back, he donated some nice welding clamps to the shop here. And he was actually passing back through, headed down to Florida, I think, again, from up in Kentucky, I think is where he told me he's living. And I was actually just north of town, and when he called, I knew he was coming, and I just met him up there by the interstate, because I was actually was a little ways from home, but I was right by the interstate. So we pulled off there in a gas station and visited out in the parking lot for a little while. But Doug brought along some nice tools here for the shop, and just to kind of let you know, and I had shared this with Doug last time he was here. Kind of what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to put together a second set of machinist tools so that I can have a good working set of tools here at my home shop, but also be able to keep a set of tools out at the museum. Because even though we've got my shop coming along here, and I'm probably going to be doing more projects here at my home shop, there's still going to be lots of times when I need to be doing things out at the museum. Of course, they'll still have the big Lodge and Shipley lathe out there. We're going to get a different milling machine to go out there. My milling machine has actually already been moved to the shop here, and we're going to be sharing some of that information here in just a little bit. But I want to be able to keep some tools out there, and need to kind of build up a couple of things. And he had some stuff that he picked up in some auctions or whatever, and was kind enough to donate it. So first off, you see here we got the little scribe indicator holder, whatever you want to. Use this on the surface plate. You can mount all kinds of stuff on this. This is great for putting indicators on. We use these when we're testing machines. We can run these across the surface and put an indicator on them. So very nice one. I don't think we saw an actual name on this one, although it looks kind of Starrett, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, very nice. It's got a little surface rust on it, but it'll clean right up. And also, two boxes here. The first one is a Mitsutoyo depth micrometer, and this thing right here looks like it's brand spanking new. I'm not even sure if it's ever been used. Comes with some depth rods there that you can change out. There's the hardware to change it. It's still in the plastic bag. So very nice set here. Definitely something we can use. And then in the Starrett box, we have an inside micrometer set. Again, also in very good shape. Let's see, this is a Starrett number 124. And it has all the different adjusting rods. Of course, you can pick the one you need. You just put this into your holder here. And there's some calibration you can do down here on this end to get these things adjusted out. But then you can go inside of a hole and actually check a measurement. A lot of times when I use these, even though it has a micrometer on it that you can read directly, usually what I'll do is I'll set this inside, and then I'll pull this out and check it with the micrometer that I'm measuring with if I'm turning like a part on the lathe to fit it. And that way I'm using the same tool to measure both things. I don't have to worry about if the calibration is exactly right between this and my micrometer. I'll just use the direct reading off of my micrometer and make something to fit. But anyway, I digress. This is a very nice set, and I really look forward to getting a chance to use it. And like I said, trying to put together some extra tools here so we'll have them in both places. So thanks, Doug. I really appreciate you doing that. Enjoyed getting to visit with you again as you were passing through town, and hope to be able to visit up with you some more down the road. Thanks a lot. Last item here is pretty cool. This is a little desk calendar, I guess. It's got different pictures on one side. It kind of sits up kind of like a tent, and you got calendars on the other. But this comes from Derek North, and Derek is from down in Cape Town, South Africa, and sent this up. And basically, this little calendar's got a lot of wildlife scenes from Africa in here. A lot of different kind of exotic animals that we don't really get to see very many of here in North America. But anyway, pretty cool stuff. Something nice to have around. So appreciate that. Something kind of interesting. So anyway, thanks Derek for sending that along, and send along a nice little note as well. Appreciate it greatly, and look forward to enjoying some of the photography on this nice little desk calendar. Thanks a lot. So another shop update here. We got my 2 milling machines that have been out of the museum, and we got those actually loaded up and moved here to the shop this last week. So we went out, loaded those up, had forklifts on the museum side to do that, so no big deal. Loaded them up on a trailer, brought them out here. Unloading them was a little bit more challenging because I don't have a big forklift out here that was capable of lifting these things up. So I actually got up with Tifton Machine Works, which is a machine shop here that does a lot of other stuff as well, but they actually brought a little boom truck out, came in here, basically set up a little crane, picked them up off the trailer, set them down on the slab out here, and we were able to then put these on pallet jack and just roll them right into the shop. I was planning on getting some good video of that, but they got here with the cranes before I did. They showed up early, and when you pay them by the hour, I was like, hang on a minute, let me go set up a camera. It was get the job over with. So I did try to shoot a little clip on my iPhone. I don't know how that turned out, but if it's any good, we'll try to show a little bit of picking these up with the crane and setting them in here. But I'm tickled to have these in here. Now, one thing you guys are probably noticing is that, hey, where's the head on your Wells Index? Well, we had a little problem, and I'm not going to go into it right now. There's actually going to be a video, but there was some damage done in the process. Actually, I think the damage was pre-existing, and we discovered it in the process of moving it here. So we got a little repair video we're going to be doing there, and I'm not going to spill the beans on that right now. You'll just have to watch an upcoming video, or it may be a series of videos. I'm not sure yet because I haven't actually got it done. We had to pull the head off of this, and we'll have some content there on machine repair coming up soon for you guys. But anyway, really glad to have these in here. This is going to greatly increase the capacity of what I can do in the shop. Also brought in another machine, but I'm going to make you wait on that one too. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a restoration project down the road, and we'll be sharing probably have a dedicated video on that coming up soon as well. So anyway, milling machines in the shop, moving forward toward getting everything set up in here like we want. So with that, guys, I think it'll be a wrap of this edition of Odds and Ends. Thank you guys for watching as always. Thank you for seeing what's going on in the shop. Got cool things going on here all the time. Like I said before, I'm really excited about having my milling machines in here now because that's really going to enable me to kind of take it to the next step. So we got a lathe working. I still got a couple more to work on. We still got our surface grinder that needs to have some stuff done to it to get it operational. But we have milling machines and a lathe, so hey, we can go to work in here. That I'm pumped about. The next big thing that we got going on, I'm actually going to be working on that this weekend, is we're doing some electrical work to get my rotary phase converter hooked up in a permanent fashion. So you guys have probably seen our American rotary phase converter that we have detailed in the past, and I'll probably be showing some more on this down the road. But it's going to be a little bit of time involved in this. Basically, we're getting our electrical service to the shop upgraded from 200 amps to 400 amps. Had some needs to do that. Wish that I had just done it from the beginning. But in the process of doing that, we're going to put in a separate panel out here, and that panel is going to drive the 40 horsepower rotary phase converter. We're going to mount it outside the shop. It's designed to be outdoors. So we're going to get all that hooked up, wired up, and then bring three-phase power into the shop, probably run it through a load center and run circuits around to my different machines. Right now, we've just kind of been jury-rigged a little bit, running an extension cord across the shop to hook up a machine at a time, and haven't really had our phase converter set up like it needs to be done. So that's another project we'll have going on over the next week or two, probably realistically, because we've got to get the power company out here working on that. But lots of things going on. We're really making progress toward getting the shop where we really can get out here and work in it. And anyway, that's going to be a wrap on this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.